From sleeping on cardboard along the streets of Manila to becoming one of the greatest boxing champions in history, Manny Pacquiao lived a journey that seemed impossible. He rose from extreme poverty to worldwide fame, won world titles in 8 different weight classes, earned hundreds of millions of dollars, and became a source of pride for the Philippines. But outside the ring, another battle slowly began. Legal issues, financial problems, political disappointments, broken relationships, and personal challenges gradually started breaking down everything he had spent years creating. This is the story of the incredible rise and painful downfall of a man whose fists defeated countless opponents, but could not overcome every challenge life placed before him. There are levels of poverty that most people will never experience. Not the kind that only means spending less money, but the kind that changes your entire view of life. The kind where being hungry becomes part of everyday life. The kind where staying alive matters more than chasing dreams. Manny Pacquiao, whose full name is Emmanuel Dapadran Pacquiao, was born on December 17, 1978 in Kiba, Bukidnon, on the island of Mindanao in the Philippines. He was one of 6 children in a family that struggled every single day just to survive. Their hardship became so severe that reports claimed his father killed the family dog because there was nothing else available to eat. Mindanao was far from the wealthy image many people connected with the Philippines. While Manila offered success for some, many areas of Mindanao remained trapped in deep poverty. Families were not thinking about comfort or luxury. Their only concern was finding enough food before the day ended. Things became even worse while Manny was still a child. His parents separated after his father became involved with another woman. His mother, Dionysia, suddenly had to raise 6 children on her own with almost nothing. There were no government programs ready to help and no financial support waiting for them. Every day became another fight for survival. As a young boy, Manny accepted any work he could find. He sold bread on the streets, collected recyclable materials for small amounts of money, and took every opportunity that could help feed his family. Poverty forced him to grow up much faster than other children. Eventually, staying in school was no longer possible because his family needed income more than education. Manny left school during 6th grade, giving up his studies just to help everyone survive. There was no guarantee life would improve. The only goal was making it through another day. At only 12 years old, Manny made the biggest decision of his life. With almost nothing and very few opportunities, he left home to pursue boxing. He moved to General Santos City, where he stayed with his uncle Sardo Mejia in a simple one-story house. Although Mejia had no professional coaching experience, he became the first person to train the future boxing superstar. Life there was far from easy. There were no modern gyms, expensive coaches, or advanced equipment. Everything was simple and built only on determination. Even in those difficult conditions, something remarkable was beginning to grow. The thin boy who once sold bread to survive was slowly becoming a fighter the world would eventually respect and fear. Manny had no luxury training centers during those early years. There were no famous coaches, recovery experts, or career advisors helping him. Instead, he trained with worn-out gloves in basic surroundings, while holding onto a dream that almost everyone believed was impossible. Even so, his natural ability quickly caught people's attention. By the time he turned 15, Pacquiao had already earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous young fighters in the Philippines. He regularly fought in public parks around General Santos, where matches were rough, unpredictable, and unforgiving. These were not organized amateur events with strict rules. Crowds gathered around the ring placing bets, while fighters battled for whatever money the spectators decided to throw into the ring afterward. Those difficult experiences created the style that later made Pacquiao famous around the world. He developed endless pressure, explosive combinations, incredible speed, and fearless determination that never allowed him to back away no matter how difficult the fight became. But Manny knew General Santos could only take him so far. If he wanted a real future, he had to reach Manila. As a teenager, he secretly boarded a ship heading to the capital, risking everything without knowing what waited for him there. It was not a carefully planned journey supported by money or powerful connections. It was the desperate decision of a young boy placing all his faith and hope. Manila offered opportunity, but it had also crushed the dreams of countless others. When he finally arrived, reality hit immediately. He had nowhere to stay. He slept on flattened cardboard beside sidewalks and hidden corners throughout the city. The streets became his home, while building entrances gave him shelter from the rain. To survive, he sold donuts to workers and commuters every morning for very little money. He also cleaned local boxing gyms, sweeping floors and washing equipment so trainers would let him practice. Every day became a struggle between staying alive and chasing his dream. At just 14 years old, Manny lived in Manila with almost nothing. He worked construction jobs, struggled to afford food, and constantly faced heartbreaking decisions. Sometimes he had to choose between buying food for himself or sending his money home so his mother could eat instead. Many days he chose his family before himself. That was the real story behind Manny Pacquiao's rise. Before the fame, the championships, and the fortune, there was sacrifice beyond what most people could imagine. Then everything finally began to change. At only 16 years old, Pacquiao officially became a professional boxer. He made his debut as a junior flyweight against Edmund Ignacio and won by decision, earning a paycheck that seemed small by world standards but felt life-changing to him because it was more money than he had ever held before. Even then, success did not happen overnight. The journey remained difficult and uncertain. Manny continued winning, improving, and moving forward with the same determination that had carried him off the streets. Then came the breakthrough that changed everything. Pacquiao defeated reigning champion Terence Crawford to win the WBC flyweight title. Before even leaving his teenage years behind, Manny had already become a world champion. For the Philippines, it was an unforgettable moment. A young man who once slept on cardboard in Manila had climbed to the top of the boxing world, and the country realized it was witnessing the rise of a future national legend. His story inspired people across the Philippines. A former street child who left school because his family could not survive had reached the highest stage in boxing with a world title around his waist. For millions of Filipinos living through poverty, Manny Pacquiao became living proof that even impossible dreams could become reality. But success also carried danger, especially for someone driven by survival. The same hunger that pushed Manny to greatness also made him reckless in the ring. Early in his career, he attacked non-stop with little attention to defense, believing determination alone could overcome every obstacle. Then reality caught up with him. Manny fought Rustico Torrecampo, a boxer many believed would not cause serious problems. Torrecampo was not famous for knockout power, and most people expected Pacquiao to continue winning without difficulty. Instead, the fight became one of the first painful lessons of his career. After taking several clean punches, Torrecampo landed the shot that knocked Pacquiao out. It became the first professional loss of Manny's career. For many fighters, losing is simply part of boxing, but for Pacquiao it meant much more. Boxing was not only his passion. It was his only path out of poverty. He had no college degree, no second career, and no safety net if everything fell apart. Losing inside the ring threatened everything he had worked so hard to build. Instead of giving up, Manny returned stronger than ever. He rebuilt his career with an incredible 15-fight winning streak. During that run, his confidence came back, his skills improved, and his reputation spread quickly across the boxing world. It was also during this period that he defeated Terence Crawford to win the WBC flyweight championship, officially establishing himself as one of boxing's brightest rising stars. Promoters immediately took notice. News outlets across the Philippines praised him as a future national hero, while fans admired the fearless young fighter who attacked relentlessly no matter who stood in front of him. Interviewer asked Manny what kept him going when he had nothing. Manny said every time he wanted to quit, he thought about his mother and his brothers and sisters waiting for him at home. He said boxing was never about fame. It was about giving his family a better life and making sure they never went hungry again. Later, an interviewer asked Manny how it felt to become a world champion. Manny said the title was not just for him. It belonged to every Filipino who had faced poverty and refused to give up. He said his journey proved that hard work, faith, and determination can change a person's life forever. An interviewer asked Manny what was the hardest part of his childhood. Manny said the hardest part was watching his family struggle every day without knowing if there would be enough food to eat. He said those painful memories became the reason he never stopped fighting inside or outside the ring. Another interviewer asked Manny what message he wanted to give young people chasing their dreams. Manny said, "Never let your situation decide your future." He believed success comes to those who keep working even when life feels impossible, and he encouraged everyone to stay focused and never give up. An interviewer asked Manny if he ever thought about giving up during the hardest days of his life when he had no money, no home, and no certainty about the future. Manny said there were many moments when he felt exhausted both physically and mentally, but quitting was never something he allowed himself to consider. He explained that every difficult day reminded him of his family's struggles and the sacrifices his mother made to keep everyone together. He said he knew returning home without achieving anything would only mean going back to the same life of poverty they had always known. That thought pushed him to train harder even when he was hungry, tired, and sleeping on the streets. Manny added that success did not come from talent alone. It came from discipline, patience, and believing in yourself even when nobody else believed in you. He said every victory he earned inside the ring was dedicated to his family and to everyone who had supported him from the very beginning, because their faith gave him the strength to keep chasing a dream that once seemed impossible.